What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Buttons Spin, and today we are back to Pro Series. And of course, the next one in line is Judgement Joker. This is the last of the Wave 2 series, and it is our fourth GT Bay. Fantastic. Judgement Joker was a fantastic Beyblade on Takara Tomy. It was very competitive for the layer. A lot of people were using it back then. So, fantastic to see this now in Pro Series. The rubber here is what made it great. We'll have to check it out if it's still great on Pro Series. But yeah, let's open this up and see if it spins. But before we continue, let's take a look here. Again, you see that the weight is off the charts. I told you, every single Pro Series Beyblade does have at least one stat that is off the charts, which makes me think that's not really off the charts. It's just, they just increased every single one a little bit. Makes me think that maybe this 3 was supposed to be a 0 and this was supposed to be a 9, right? I don't know how that works. Let's just continue. But yeah, before we continue, leave us a like if you've been enjoying this series and consider subscribing not to lose any future videos of But Does It Spin. So are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so here we are with everything out of the box, and of course the first thing you want to do is to open up the manual that came with it, because not only will it teach you how to assemble your Beyblade, it will also tell you how to put your stickers on, which of course also comes with the manual. It will also teach you how to play the game and the different rules for it, different rules for the different point system. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the light launcher. And as most of you know, I really do like the Pro Series light launchers. I do like them a lot better than the Hasbro Ripcord launchers. I think it's just a lot smoother, it feels a lot better to launch it with a light launcher, and also the performance is slightly better. Now, this is not as convenient as a string launcher, but if this is what you have, then you can't really go wrong with it. It's pretty good. Now going on to the Beyblade itself. Blade or layer, I don't remember what they used to call this in GT, is Judgement. Now, Judgement is a right spinning attack type, and you can see that these pink parts, they are made of rubber. You can tell that this has a pretty significant smash attack right there, and that is what makes this a great attack type. You can see that there is a smaller hit there, bit of hit there, but the rubber from here, it already starts a hit and a much stronger hit, and right there, and then a smaller hit there as well. You can see that it is a more oval type, and that can sometimes help attack types as they will spin with their weights concentrated on two sides. So that's always pretty cool. You can also see that there is a rubber part here that will make it more difficult for it to burst with the disc here. With the disc here, you can see just putting it on there, it's already not falling off. So it will be more difficult to move, and that's on there specifically because the hits here will be very strong, so it will have more recoil. But yeah, it's just a little nicer thing to have there so that it doesn't burst as easily. The weight that came with it, interestingly enough, is a Sen, whereas the original was a Zen. So it's the exact opposite from the Fafnir we took a look at on the battle set, because on there it was supposed to be a Sen and then it came as a Zen, and here it was supposed to be a Zen and then it came as a Sen. So that's pretty interesting. Don't mind if I do having this. You can see that it has some empty spots there, but it does have 6 points of weight right there, separated into two sides. So like I said, this is a more elliptical kind of blade, so having this weight on there, it will put the weight more towards those two sides, which will help it with its attacks Very cool, not bad at all. The chip, of course, is Joker. And you can see that the teeth, as expected of an attack type, it does have deeper teeth. And that's okay. It's not terrible. So let's put it together. Push the tabs in. And there we go. We have the layer made. Now, moving on to the forged disc, it is a 0, which, as you see, it is also elliptical, but symmetrical. So it does have the weights on two sides. You are able to put a frame on it, which they were kind enough to supply us with. And this used to be pretty heavy back in the days. It wasn't too bad. Not only that, but you can see that these sides are very round, so they did help with life after death. If you didn't have a frame, it was okay. It was pretty good. People did get this mostly for the frames, but it was okay without it as well. Interestingly enough, the Judgement Joker, the original Judgement Joker in Takatomi, was supposed to come with the 00 disc, which is very similar. This is also elliptical and symmetrical, and you can also put frames on it, but it was 1 gram heavier than the 0. So, we are at a loss of 1 gram, but it is what it is. The frame that came with it is a glaive, and glaive originally came with Wyvern, but this is not bad either. This, as frames go, is not too bad. You can see that it is very smooth in the bottom and very round, so it did help with life after death. And these 2 little spikes that came out, if you take a look from the side, it did slope upwards as well, so it didn't interfere with the life after death. When it was scraping, it wouldn't scrape too badly on the arena floor. That said, the spikes are too small for it to actually be an impact, for you to have any impact on attack, but it is just something nice to have. And there you go. That leaves us with the driver, and and this is a fantastic driver. Why not? Why not? The original Judgement Joker was supposed to come with the trick driver, but this one, it did come with an ultimate reboot, and I honestly believe this is one of the cooler, maybe not the best performing, but definitely one of the coolest drivers that ever came out in Beyblade history. We did see something similar on Metal Fight, of course. The idea of this driver is that when you first launch it, it will be speeding so fast that these plastic tabs will come out, will spread out like this, and as you can see, this blue tip comes out when that happens, which it is a flat. It is a flat, but it is thin enough that it will be very calm on the arena. And then as it slows down, the wings will retract, and then you'll see it does have a rubber whole flat kind of deal, and so it will get more aggressive. It's as close as we can get from the anime powers, I guess, because it will have a first pattern, and then as it slows down, it will change its pattern and become more aggressive. So that's really cool. I do think that's super fascinating and very cool how much engineering went into making something like this. Of course, we did see stuff like this towards the end of the Metal Saga, but it's still very cool to see this. Every time I see this, it's still very cool. Like I said, this red part is made of rubber, so it will be aggressive. That said, when it tilts, it can start scraping and lose stamina a bit. Overall, I do think it's a very crazy cool mechanic. And supposedly, Hasbro's Ultimate Reboot drivers do activate more consistently than Takara Tomi's. So, that's something that we can keep an eye out to see how often it actually activates. These are the parts. Let's assemble it, test it out, and battle it against some of our other Pro Series Beyblades. And that's it, folks. As you saw, Judgment Joker does hit really hard. He did knock out a lot of them. He did burst a lot of them, which is pretty fantastic. But against Sword Valkyrie Extreme, he did also get knocked himself out a few times as well. But yeah, it is what it is. It is inarguable that he is a fantastic attack type. He does seem to burst with a certain ease, though, in comparison to a few others, because his attack are so prominent. The recoil is also greater on him, even with the burst stopper there. So yeah, also this rubber part of my reboot did pop out during the battle with Luinor, so I don't know what that was about. I did just put it in and it hasn't been coming out afterwards, but I don't know if that's something that happens to these drivers or not. But you know, it is what it is. Take the conclusion you like from that. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to see more videos like this. Obviously, we are focusing more on Beyblades, but we also do bring other spin tops that are not Beyblade related, and sometimes even stuff that are not even spin tops, but that we try to spin them anyway, just to see if we can. So if you're into stuff like that, I'll see you next time. Until then, stay nerdy, guys.